Well, I'm Dale. This is Jackson, and that's Molly over there. We've been partners since probably week 2, we always say. He was an infant when we brought him into K that first week, and little in a basket, and they just grabbed him, and we thought, wow, they're taking him over.
We met and married after meeting each other here in Marble Falls. So I teach at the high school, and I teach social studies. I'm the social studies department chair, and I am in charge of student council. And Jackson, where do you go to school?
Marble Falls Middle School.
Marble Falls Middle School. What grade?
6th.
6th grade.
I retired a couple of years ago from teaching and coaching, and came back in Marble Falls. Back. I do 2 part-time pre-athletic classes in the afternoon, do lawn care and odd job busy work with Tom Lane and Brent Fisher and John Klein. And we've moved with Lake Shores 5 times now. Pavilion, the high school, the annex or whatever, and then the place we're currently, and then, well, currently now we're at home. So this is our 5th place.
Jackson has Tourette syndrome, and what else? Sensory processing disorder. What we experience a lot are some sensory issues. When we first started going, when he was little bitty, he could only be in there for maybe one song. Put the TVs in the kind of foyer area so that one of us could step out with him and still be a part of the worship service. And just over time, he's been able to stay longer. But when he was little, he would just burst out and we'd have to walk out because he was just, it was probably, the music was too loud. It was a different routine. There could have been lots of reasons why. And so what you'll see today is we bring the iPad or the tablet that helps keep him grounded a little bit and allows him to be able to stay in there with us. And he feels more comfortable in the service with us. It may not appear that he's participating, but he hears what's being said, I can assure you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Our journey is wanting to be in worship. Worship is important to us as a family, but how do we manage that so it's doable for our family?
And Lake Shores has been one of those safe havens for us. You know, we toyed with moving, getting other jobs, this, that, and the other. And we kept coming back saying, you know, our church and our schools are just unbelievable with our child. And we can't pack up and go somewhere into another pasture that could be greener, but I doubt there really is. It's difficult in this home. I'll just be real with you. And I think if you want to start with the most founding thing, it's just try to walk the walk and, you know, do the best you can, because children are imitators. You know, they're gonna do and say what daddy and mama say. Their actions are gonna be following, you know, what our footsteps or our actions are. So I think the ground one, zero, you know, thing that we should do is just you know, provide for something for them to imitate, you know, along with a good structure and you know, conversation when you can have it. You know, that's been our struggle around here, is just having those conversations. I think the best time that this little guy is receptive to good conversation is at night before he goes to bed, when he's lying in bed, and we can have some good, deep conversation.
Like, you have a plan for your child, you have a plan for your family, and boy, this wasn't the plan. That doesn't mean it can't be beautiful and wonderful in its own way, but we got thrown a big curveball. And so we've had to learn and grow in our own way, and had to kind of shut out all the noise or the expectations in which we thought our life was going to be. But from that have come some very beautiful moments. And that's a day-to-day learning process. Learning and growing from the situation that you're in, the good, the bad, and the ugly, has been something we've tried to do. And we've made church a priority. Sometimes it's selfish for Dale and I, but my advice and something I've learned is to be a little less judgmental on what you see. I've learned that my first instinct now is to say, something may be going on, as opposed to that kid's being a brat or that kid's misbehaving. You know, you don't know what's happening in that family. You don't know what just happened 5 minutes before they walked in, especially with church. And even the best of families struggle to get there. And so sometimes it is all we can do to get there. Mm-hmm. And we may not have a smile on our face. There may be tears coming down the face. Or it may have been a great morning. We're all doing the very, very best we can, which has been the phrase for this coronavirus, for sure. Yeah, during these trying times.
When things aren't going well around here, I always look at Molly and say, look, somebody's got it way worse than we do, you know, and that's what kind of keeps us going. A little grace, a little patience.
When Lake Shore is like where it is now was first built, I remember like some part where like she took me to the place. I don't know when it was being built. I can't really remember what we did.
Oh, we went and previewed the new
I
building.
think I don't really remember. I think the only reason I remember that is probably because it was a big like moment, maybe.
Is I think our place in education and in Marble Falls has been a huge ministry for us. I think both of us view that as a place where we can try to be the hands and feet of Jesus. Doesn't always work, but we're trying. And so I think that's where our ministry as a family, and hopefully if we can do this, other people can do this as far as raising a child with different needs, then maybe people don't see on the outside. Our reason right now is to be with Jackson and to help our family grow and him to grow in an appropriate way and in a healthy way. And for when it's our time to serve outside of just our family, then that'll take the burden maybe from another family.
About God's timing, you know, we never know when that's going to be. When's this pandemic going to be over?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when are we going to see improvements as a family, and what? Just the timing, we never know. We hope that it's going to be right now or last week or 10 years ago, but we just never know, and we just take it one day at a time. But what we do in the world out there, you know, of course, Molly's always nurturing her students. You know, I'm doing the same with my kids, and I'm kind of mirroring Tom Lane because he goes out in the community and helps, you know, widows and whatnot change light bulbs, and even come into Lake Shores on a random day and change those light bulbs.
Getting to know each other a little bit better will allow us to understand maybe even like our home situation and even like what it looks like for us to worship.
Yeah, what did I even do on that first?
You just sat in a basket probably the whole time.
You just played with toys.
Yeah.